Welcome back, everybody. It is 9 o'clock and let's take a look at the top stories. Of course, the big story of the day is that the EFF will launch its Election Manifesto at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban today.
All right, we are crossing now to Samkele, Maseko and Natasha Phiri, who was standing by.
And we're going to start with you, Samkele. Thank you so much for joining us. Just give us an update of what's happening.
Well, Simpiwe, at this point in time, members of the EFF have started trickling in their numbers here at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, where over 60,000 members of the economic freedom fighters and supporters will be filling up these stands here at the stadium with an overflow area where they will effectively unveil their manifesto. We are joined by the Treasurer General of the EFF, Samkele. Just the essence of the manifesto launch. What can South Africans look forward to, particularly with issues of electricity, issues of load shedding, bad infrastructure and service delivery that they are facing? You come to this municipality, certain parts like Mhlanga didn't have water. You go to areas such as Ndwetwe, there is issues of service delivery in those rural municipalities.
Thank you very much to you, Samkele, and good morning to the viewers of SABC at home. The people of South Africa can expect the EFF to give a practical, implementable solution to all the challenges you've raised. We are sitting here, Samkele, 30 years into democracy, and we've seen a lot of regression with regards to the infrastructure development, with regards to the development of our people generally. So the answer lies in the founding manifesto of the EFF, which talks about the 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars. The first one being the expropriation of land without compensation. We stand true to the cause of expropriation of land without compensation because at the center of the struggle is the issue of the land. For you to even think about building an infrastructure, you have to own the land. You can't do anything on air. For you to run trains, you have to have the land. For you to build a road, you have to have the land. For you to build a clinic, you have to have the land. For you to build 1 million houses, that the president of the ANC lied to the people of South Africa, claiming to go and build 1 million houses in Alex. You have to have the land for you to build those houses. For you to have free quality decolonized education, you must build the infrastructure, the buildings. You need to have the land. So everything resides around the issue of the land. So you can expect that in our manifesto, the issue of the land will come out. And everything else, as I said, Samkele, comes from the land. The high unemployment rate we see in the country is because of the land. The high levels of crime in the country is because of the issues of the land. Because once you've got the land, you are able to build factories, which will then make provisions for job employment for our people. Young people are saying, we were promised that the doors of learning will open, but it's now 30 years into democracy, the doors of learning are not open. So our young people, as you can see them, they came in their numbers. They want an implementable solution that how then do we move forward as a country? The economy of this country at the moment is not doing well. So everything else resides around the issue of the land. You can expect that the land will come in very strongly. You can expect the issue of nationalizations of mines, banks and other strategic sectors of the economy. You can expect that you're going to hear about free quality decolonized education. You can expect to hear about free sanitation, housing. You can expect to hear about an equality. Our people need to be equal. We need to have an equal society. We are the most unequal society in the country. GBV, crimes, those are the things that we that are living in this country. Now, here in KZN, every other day, Samkele, we hear about the killings of our people. When you look at, okay, if it's political killings, you can be guaranteed that there's a tender somewhere that somebody did not want to give, and hence somebody got eliminated. So it's all levels of poverty that leads our people to do crime. Socio-economic conditions of our country are leading our people to resort to crime because they say you want to put bread on the table. And what can you do when you're unemployed and there's no hope of you ever being employed? Our people then resort to crime.
You used to work at a parastatal, Transnet, if I stand to be corrected. Looking at the problems that Transnet is facing today, looking at our ports struggling to meet the demands of those who are bringing in goods into the country and the goods that we're exporting out. You look at the coal terminal out in Richards Bay. What are some of the thrusts that can be used to revitalize this particular company, SOC, Transnet?
Transnet is the biggest railway in Africa. There's no other railway that comes anywhere near Transnet. Transnet has got a rail network of over 40,000 kilometers. The closest to the second after South Africa is Egypt, with just about 9,000 kilometers of track. You can see the huge gap that South Africa has, not only about the infrastructure itself, but the rolling stock. Transnet, when I left Transnet in 2019, Transnet initially they had 4,500 locomotives, but remember they then injected 1,000 more. So Transnet was sitting up at about 5,000 locomotives. But what did the incumbent do? He cancelled the contract for maintenance. Now, when you've got a rolling stock that works 24 hours, it has to be maintained. There's a maintenance regime that it must go through. When you cancel that contract of maintenance without having an alternative, you won't move. You don't have a rolling stock to move. So what they did, Samkele, it's like you taking your Mercedes-Benz car and go to BMW and say, BMW, you service my Mercedes-Benz car. I don't have the IP, I don't have the specs, I don't have everything, but you reinvent everything. What nonsense is that? So that's the leadership of Transnet we had. They collapsed Transnet deliberately because they wanted to privatize Transnet. Transnet is a railway logistics company. We've got the minerals in the country. For any railway to survive anywhere in the world, you need bulk commodities. We just spoke about coal now. Coal is one of the bulk commodities. We've got manganese, we've got iron ore. So how come with all these rich minerals, Transnet is failing to move? When I left Transnet, Samkele, we were moving over 200 million tons of cargo a year. And that's what sustains any railway. And we even with that over 200 million, we even went beyond the country to go look for work with my department, business development, of manufacturing the rolling stock for the rest of the continent. Because why? We can't only depend on moving cargo. We must also manufacture the rolling stock to sustain Transnet. All of that has been destroyed. All of that has been canned. People who were working, my subordinates, have all become redundant and they've since given VSPs, they left Transnet. So Transnet is a deliberate collapse. And that's the same strategy that has been used everywhere in the continent, at least in the continent. They tried that nonsense in Namibia. And the government of Namibia came in quickly to say, no, we can see what you are doing. You want to collapse Namibian railways. And they came in to rescue it. Yeah, you've got the ruling party that is enabling the state capture. You've got the ruling party that is enabling privatization of state-owned entities. So Transnet can be rescued, Samkele. We've got the rolling stock, we've got the infrastructure, we've got the personnel. I mean, in the last VSPs packages that were given, out of the 3,000 VSPs given, 300 were trained drivers. That's 10% of the people of your labor that you are releasing. And those people, it's like a pilot. You don't just pass matric or pass your degree and go and drive a train. You go through a rigorous training for you to be able to drive trains. Now, if you release the very people that are at the core, at the center of your business, who's going to run the business? You are going to sit with the asset without drivers. That's why they are now going out back to the market and saying, can we lease this rolling stock to you because we've got more rolling stock than the commodity, than we can't even move. But what are the mines? The mines have got piles and piles of products that needs to be moved. So where exactly is the problem? Transnet is the problem because they released the very critical skills. The skills gap at Transnet has widened ever since we left. So Transnet must be rescued, but Jamnandas must go. But Jamnandas is at the center of the failure of all our state-owned entities. Be it Transnet, be it Eskom, be it Dinel, be it SAA, be it SA Express. All of them under President Godard, they have collapsed. So President and his government must be removed.
When you look at Transnet, the president says they want to bring in private players to assist in the freight rail within this particular state-owned enterprises. Do you see this as a partial privatization or whole state of these state-owned enterprises?
It is a wholesale. Samkele, when I was there with Gama and all of them, there was never a private person. Yet we moved 200 million tons of cargo with the same people, 60,000 employees of Transnet, with the same railway infrastructure of over 40,000 kilometers, with the same rolling stock of 75,000 wagons and over 4,500 locomotives. Debbie still has those today. What has changed is because they are deliberately collapsing Transnet. The mines have not closed, at least the bulk commodity mines. Chrome has not closed. Coal has not closed. Manganese has not closed. Iron ore has not closed. Those are at the core of running a successful railway. So you collapse it so that you can create a chaos and want to bring privatization at the back. President Ramaphosa is a trader. He's trading our country to his friends so that when he goes, he still have a permanent salary that comes through to him. We must never allow that to happen, because we must ask ourselves, why are you fixing something that has worked? This has worked. What has gone wrong? This has gone wrong. All these things I'm telling you, this is where it has gone wrong. But they deliberately wanted it to go wrong so they can bring private. That private is not going to bring you rolling stock. It's not going to bring an extension of a railway network. It's going to tap into the same existing infrastructure of Transnet, same existing rolling stock of Transnet, and even bring back those employees that were given VSPs to come and run a private operation. So we must reject it.
Looking at these people here, most of them are unemployed. How do they benefit from an EFF government post the elections in sometime this year?
They're going to benefit Samkele, because with the EFF we are talking beneficiation of our minerals. Once you beneficiate, once you don't take out the raw material, and that's what I used to push at Transnet, that we need to think beyond just pulling raw commodities. We need to start off thinking of the lines where this beneficiation can be done. For example, iron ore, all the way from Northern Cape, Sishen to Saldanha. We might not have to do it because that's a bulk, that's a raw material that is being exported out of the country. The government needs to say, in between, there must be a factory. So we as Transnet, we need to think, how are we going to build that railway infrastructure that will move commodities, not from Sishen to Saldanha, but from Sishen to somewhere else where it's going to be beneficiated. So once you beneficiate, you create factories, and then our people are going to get employment. But even before creating new factories, there are old factories, Samkele, that are closed today as you and I stand here. We'll start with them. Why are these factories closed? Because what has changed? You needed a jacket in 1905. You still need a jacket today. You needed cabbage in 1802. It's 2024. You still need a cabbage. So why were these factories closed? Of course, we move with the times. We are now in the fourth industrial revolution. But the basics of the basics, Samkele, we still need. So we are going to create millions of sustainable jobs through beneficiation of our minerals, through giving farms to our people, and for them to run successful farming that will give our people employment. There is a law, Samkele. The money is not put where it's supposed to be productive. So we need to run projects that are are profitable, but also they are looking at the revenue generation. So if you run, for example, if you are to ask the ANC government, with the 500 billion that you received during COVID, what have you done? Not even a single hospital. Had you built a hospital then, the hospital will still be here, still servicing our people. So that's what we will do. We'll take the money and turn it into a revenue generating money so that the money is consistent. Right now, the government is borrowing more than they can actually pay back. So we must remove the ANC. People of South Africa, President Julius Malema, the incoming president of South Africa, is coming to deliver the manifesto today. Please, those who are at home, watch on your TV. If you are around KZN, come to the stadium, come join us at Moses Mabhida Stadium.
In short, are you removing the DA as the official opposition?
We are removing the DA, we are removing the ANC. We are going straight to be number one. We are going straight. We are sending Julius Malema, our president, to the Union building.
That is the Treasurer General of the EFF saying they are going straight to the Union buildings. But of course, I'm not alone. My colleague Natasha Phiri is amongst the people, the masses of the economic freedom fighters, the downtrodden, those whom are marginalized from the economy. Over to you, Natasha.
Well, thank you so much, Samkele. Essentially, the reason why political parties have manifestos is that this is a time for them to actually reveal their commitments to the people of South Africa. In 2019, remember, the EFF had their manifesto launch. And of course, under that, the theme was our land and our jobs now. And of course, they will be in a couple of hours unveiling their manifesto to the people of South Africa. But let's just rather talk and take this conversation to the people themselves. Sabana Putin, thank you so much for joining us. I understand you're a ward councillor, you're a PR councillor. What are you expecting to hear? I mean, this is a time where the EFF will unveil their plans and their commitments to the people of South Africa. And of course, their commitment is centered around the 7 cardinal pillars of the party.
Well, thank you very much, my sister. Greetings to yourself and greetings to your crew and as well as the viewers at home. My sister, to me, what I'm looking for, especially my 7 cardinal pillars, the expropriation of land without compensation, as well as the nationalization of mines and banks. Those are the critical cardinal pillars that I'm looking to hear. But I'm still believing as the EFF, singakwazi nationalize izinto, singakwazi expropriate land without compensation, because umhlaba esikuwo njengamanje noma umhlaba owathathwa abelungu, umhlaba obelonga kithi noma owathathwa kokhokho bethu. So EFF ihamba lapho. That is why namhlanje ngila ngifuna uzolalela uCIC ukuthi usitshela ukuthini ngalezo zinto.
But KZN is a hotly contested region or province, the second largest voting population in the country. Do you think that the EFF will become the official opposition post the elections? The EFF, of course, really wants to win this province.
Yeah, my sister, you know, when you can start back in 2013, kula ma elections lawayana amanamba ayincrease kakhulu. Semasibuya futhi ngama elections alandelayo amanamba ethu athi double. So lento le iyasitshela ukuthi singakwazi ukuthi sithathe KZN ngaphandle kokunanabuza. Namanje sibheke khona siyayitshela futhi ukuthi sizokwazi ukuthi sibe ne-effect noma input kulama elections alandelayo. So sinalo ithemba lokuthi sizokwenza ushintsho eKZN as EFF.
When I personally put it as a ward councillor in one of these regions, what has your contribution been to ensure that more people actually vote for the EFF?
My sister, kuningi kakhulu. Mhlambe just a typical example. I'm from Newcastle. And Newcastle bekuqoshwa abasebenzi lapha baqoshwa umeya at that particular time no MM wakhona. But sikwazile ukuthi sibuyise labo bantu abaqoshwa babuya babheke emsebenzini namhlanje bayasebenza just because of EFF. So we believe ukuthi labo bantu laba abantu abangakwazi ukuthi basinikeze ivote njenge-EFF nemndeni yabo futhi because babonile emsebenzini njenge-EFF ukuthi siyayikhathalela i-community yase-Newcastle especially. Ngiyabonga siswami.
Do you not think, I mean, a lot of people have been saying with the rise of MK, you know, that was supported by the former President Jacob Zuma, this might have an impact on how well the EFF will actually do in the province?
No, my sister, it might have impact, but asiboni kithi thina as EFF. Maybe it can have impact kuma parties like abo ANC, IFP. But kithi as EFF asiboni kanjalo. Because most Pegama numbers, instead of going down, but they are growing rapidly. So, scenario lendo le ukuthi ayikho impact mhlambe negative eyenzayo MK kithi as the EFF.
So for umuntu ohlezi ekhaya, for Ekhathu neManashe who's unemployed, who says, why must I vote for the EFF when ungathini kuyi?
No, mina ngabakhuthaza abantu, especially abantu abancane. Thina mawubheka izinto sikhuluma izinto ezipractical. Manje sikhuluma ngendaba ye-free education. Lento abantu abangazange bayenze leza sikhathi basase kuhulumeni. Ngizobala mhlambe ANC mhlawumbe ngisho ukuthi bekuyipower leza sikhathi. Yayikhuluma leyo nto leyo, but azange ilethe in practical ukuthi yes yayikhuluma lento le, but abafunde mahala akwenzakalanga. But thina njenge-EFF siyayipreacha leyo, and we are pushing ukuthi sibone abafundi bethu befunda mahala ezikolweni. Ziningi izinto ezisenzile kunabantu abahlala endaweni just because besikhuluma indaba ye-expropriation of land. Namhlanje abantu bayakwazi ukuthi bahlale endaweni ezithile bezionwa abanye abantu. So that is why ngithi abantu abancane abangakwazi ukuvota noma laba abafikayo njengamanje abayivotele i-EFF because izobanika lokhu vele abakudingayo esikudinga sonke sabantu abamnyama.
Well, let's just also get another reaction here, or other reactions from the various people that are here. What are you expecting to hear from the CIC today?
Ngithokozile kakhulu ukuthi kube khona la iMoses Mabhida nami namhlanje ukuthi sizo-enjoya i-EFF yethu esiyithanda kakhulu. Sithi phambili nge-EFF amandla wethu.
Sisi, do you think that after the elections, EFF, KZN and overall, are they going to do well at the polls?
KZN okay siyibambile yethu siyipha la ezandleni zethu. Siyabangena nje nge-EFF yethu. Siyabonga.
Uyikhethele i-EFF. Why does the EFF appeal to you as omusha?
EFF ngiyathanda ukuthi ngiyilandele ngoba ngithanda ukuthi ikusasa lethu liqhakaze. Zonke izinto esizidingayo ku-EFF sinethemba lokuthi sizokwenzeka, like emasikolweni singabhadala ama-school fees, konke lokho nje siyabonga.
Well, you've heard it there from various people here at the stadium. Of course, we continue to bring you various reactions coming out here, not from the leaders only of the EFF, but of course from people who have attended here. And I should emphasize, like I said again, this is where the party president, Julius Malema, will be making a commitment to the people of South Africa, and of course trying to woo those who are on the voters roll, the 27.4 million South Africans who are on the voters roll, that the EFF is the party of choice. Of course, we expect Mr. Malema to actually focus on the 7 non-negotiable pillars of the EFF, that being the expropriation of land without compensation, the nationalization of mines, banks, and other strategic sectors of the economy, the building of states and government capacity, which will lead to the abolishment of tenders, free quality education, massive protected industrial development, massive development of the African economy, open and accountable, corrupt-free government. So stay tuned to SABC News as we bring you the latest regards to the story. With that, let's back to the studio.
All right, thank you very much there to Natasha Phiri out of the Moses Mabhida Stadium, and we also had Samkele Maseko also chatting there at the EFF Manifesto.
Vusi Khumalo is also there, and will be crossing to all of them throughout the day as the party gears to hear its leader Julius Malema delivers his, this party's election manifesto.